to 2023 deer season.
Hi, welcome everybody to our 100th episode of the Dan Yak Adventures. We are super excited that we have now 100 episodes, over 1 million subscribers now. We wish, right?
Right, but we're not.
But we, for our 100th episode, we decided that we would go back and watch videos. So you get to watch us watch videos of watching ourselves. Watch videos.
Basically, we're going back through our channel and looking at a couple highlights from each season, and we can kind of talk through some of those good times.
Cool things we did.
Yeah, we're probably going to cry a lot because because they're sweet memories, just because they're horrible episodes, and well, other reasons too.
I'm gonna cry.
Yeah. All right. Shall we start season 1?
Let us begin.
So season 1.
So
Dive
season
into
1 was actually our first season, starting this.
Yeah.
Oh, except for my first one.
Yeah,
That was my first deer
Yeah.
that I ever killed, was that season. Josh shot this magnificent buck that's right over top of me that
This same season.
I wanted first.
That was our
but he
second
got-
highlight.
And a lot of different things that we did that first season. So
Yeah.
it's
So let's watch the kill shot of that first highlight of season 1. Your hunt, just for
There
your
we
old time's sake. Remember, I was in a blind sitting right
That
under
was-
the
that was
deer
pretty
stand. That's also the same place you dropped a ladder stand on my head or something like that from the deer stand.
yes.
Good times.
And I was wow. No beard.
No beard. Slick head. Talk about slick head, slick face. Oh, stink. I can't talk about that.
Here we go.
What can I say?
It was early in the morning, and we were in the minivan. Let us have a moment of silence.
Oh, the Pop-Tart moments.
Yes, and Pop-Tarts.
That was our breakfast back in the day. 5:14 in the morning. You were sick.
So, JP forgot his license
That's when I had attempted to grow a beard for the first official time or whatever.
today. But
That's when you actually got
there's
places.
a little extra news for you guys. We are hunting today in a minivan.
Oh, my dad let me borrow his truck.
No,
Oh, you finally came in.
no. Mark had a trailer.
No.
He drove it there.
We threw it. Oh, that's right. Your dough. I forgot. Mark threw it in a trailer.
And drove it
Should have
for us.
waited till I went
We're
down
both
the rest
sick.
of the list.
I forgot we both were sick that year.
That's not
It's a little side story though. That one time, remember, we had this little John boat we split our money on buying, and there was it was 11 foot across
10
or
foot.
whatever. Anyways, 10 feet across.
Oh,
Basically.
the creek.
Yeah, the creek, 13, whatever.
That's
Not
15 feet across.
15 feet across, 13 feet to cross a water type of thing. And because of that current that one evening, it took us 11 minutes to get across with that little John boat.
Yeah.
It was not a good evening. We finally get to the stand. It's super hot. We're sweating, and we get up there, finally get settled in, and you knocked off my water bottle off the stand, and it hit almost every rung on the ladder.
It did. That was
Yeah.
It was not.
Did you bring gloves?
So the neat thing about this episode, go and skip through
We
some
can
of
skip
this.
things.
We can skip.
The-
Let's skip to the good section of this.
That-
Well, the daily verse that I got was about asking the Lord in faith,
Right.
and then I'm like, you're gonna get a deer today. I text you that, and you're like, you saw one? I'm like, no, and I
Yeah.
sent you the verse,
Right.
and then this happened.
Then the deer came in.
Yeah.
It was not like 9:30.
It was awesome. Yeah,
The deer came
Mark 11:22.
through 24. So
Oh yeah.
King James version. When we're hunting other states, it's like the NIV or something. But here in Indiana,
That would have to be for Illinois.
that's right.
Okay, wow, I left that up there for a while.
Because it took us longer to read.
It took longer to read back then. I'm peeking out of a blind with a camera. There she is. Her and
That
the
was
girls.
that was rough having her come in on that because they were on a string to come to the 12-yard trail, but then the bow, what's it called? The blind was right there.
Yeah.
So they elected to go up to the 25-yard, and that is the first and only deer I ever killed
Yeah.
without a lighted knock. never do that again.
It was so hard on the playback footage to get.
Like you can see here.
You barely can see it. Like I had to rewind it on the computer to see it.
Yeah.
What you did was you bought a pack of like 3 cheap broadheads from Walmart.
Yes,
They're
the
partially plastic, and that was a lot of blood on that kill. Yeah, I just had to put it in black and white to get the arrow. Yep, right there. See, it's just. And then the reaction. You would have thought you killed a big buck your first deer down. Let's get to the reveal part here for sake of time.
And for that deer, it took us forever to find first blood.
But then when we found it, we definitely found.
Yeah, then once we found it, we started getting on the trail. She poured. Sugar rock. Yeah, so we tracked her 100 yards, and she went up into the bedding area and crashed right there on the edge.
Right outside of it. Right before the cornfield. I like that one buck I shot. He kept going.
But she was a big doe.
She was. Look at that. That's crazy. All covered her whole shoulder. You just got her right at that angle.
Right angle when she ducked.
Right. This part my family were laughing at when they watched the recovery video. And they're like, it looks like it's alive. But whoa. You look like a baby in that shot.
It's rough, man. It's rough.
That's crazy. That's a little rough too. that angle of the deer. Yeah.
That was probably one of the easiest drags that we've had.
Yeah, well, it helped that he picked it up with his ATV. So good times.
Until we get yours.
Yeah.
In the puzzle band.
Let's go ahead and move on to the next highlight. Any thought or thing you learned from that hunt that you want to, other than light at knock, was the main thing we learned from that hunt?
Light at knock?
Probably only.
Yeah, that's better.
About it on that one. So this is Goliath's hunt here. This was back in the day when I still hunted crossbow before I graduated to a compound bow. So
cool.
I know. Oh my goodness. Here's us at a table talking. Oh my goodness. Oh man.
What was I about to say?
That's rough. That buck you saw and you spooked. I forgot about that.
That was close.
Second buck that you saw that year.
That's the second buck for that day.
Oh, and then about Split and Goliath. They were
Split
both.
ended up getting shot 2 years later.
Yeah, I remember I was at the Hoyles Church in their
It's a 190s deer.
in their
Prophecy.
fellowship hall,
Fellowship hall. When
and
I
you
texted
called
him,
and you said, "Hey, Split got shot."
I about cried that day.
That was a sad day. So, yeah,
It's just a giant deer.
he was. What was he again? 190s.
It's 190s.
Yeah, this one here is 160s. Goliath was 160s. So let's go ahead and skip forward a little bit. The sad thing, the main thing that I learned from this hunt here with Goliath's hunt was filming. I had the
We
camera.
haven't learned that yet, though.
Well, I had the camera set up, and the lens cap was shut. It was early, 7-something in the morning.
No, it's not.
It was 7-something in the morning when he came by. He came stomping by. I didn't know what happened. JP had shot at him, and his bow sight got knocked going into the woods or in the truck or whatever. And so he just grazed him right under the gut. And so it gave him real attitude. He comes stomping around, turns, stomps all the way in to where I was. I had the crossbow. I couldn't get the camera to work in time. So the only footage that I have of him is him running away after I shot him. And then, of course, the recovery. There it is. A big body in the rack. That's all footage I've got of that big fella. And that's the biggest deer I've ever had in front of me in a stand. Of course, drilling dump. Good times.
The blood trail was pretty rough.
Yeah, that was rough. I hit him at kill spot, but all right.
So
That frosted ground though.
the one thing was
Awesome.
with that blood trail is following the general direction. Instead of
Yeah.
looking for specific blood, on that trail we had to kind of go through and follow the trail, and you would see it as you went.
Right. And then he went down right into that creek that we crossed and
Yes.
just gave up the ghost.
Piled into the creek.
Yeah.
I'd spotted it, and I was waiting for you to.
Yeah, I remember. And you're like, look over there. And I'm like, what? Yeah, you can see his rack right there.
In the back.
Oh, no, there it is. And since the relievement that finally got
Finally,
it,
yeah.
and we could put our hands on that, on those beams, man, what a stud of a deer. Good times. You can see that was a good first season.
Yes.
A little bit rough patches, but I mean every season has them a little bit. That's how it is.
That was only the
Hunting out there
second season that we ever both
Hunting fair
killed a
chase and oh yeah, that is true. We both killed a deer in the same season.
deer.
I don't think we did that again
Yep,
until
last
last season. Last season, yeah.
Last year's only time we did that.
We both got a buck.
I got a buck. I don't know what that was that you shot.
He's still a buck. Little bit.
My knees were knocking the tree when we shot it.
Everything was knocking in that tree when we shot.
This was rough getting him into the boat.
Oh, that was the worst. Trying to get him out of the water into a boat that's in the water. That was. Oh yeah, good times. Sliding in the mud. Trying to count the tines. So for those watching, and for those that care, it was 13 scoreable points. 15 if you could count it by putting a ring on it. So came so close to Boone and Crockett buck, but because I didn't shoot it, came so close to Pope and Young. It would have been a Pope and Young if I shot it with a
Regular,
compound bow.
Like a man would.
Right.
Just shot it with a crossbow.
I'll agree with that.
That's good.
I used a crossbow and so didn't make the boat on that one, so to speak. But hey, he's on the wall. Meat was in the freezer, 110 pounds of deer meat. Anyways, that was the two highlights of season 1. Let's go and hop in season 2 real quick. See what we've got going. What was probably your highlight of season 2? Wasn't it Nate's buck? I think Nate's deer.
Nate's deer.
That deer was
great.
That was a good. Like he was a little guy, but that was a good hunt.
He was small rack with big body.
Decent body and just the footage on that one. I love the footage on that one. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. First ever deer kill for Nathaniel Thornsley. The old bubble look. Oh my. Wow. Let's take you back a little bit. Been a minute. That was before Nate could drive. He's grown up on October 22nd.
A week ago. So both Nate and I had our bows in with us. I was on a hang-on stand just above him, and then we had a giant oak tree that we were hunting on. But I told Nate, I'll let him take the first shot. Of course, unless it would have been split. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I rattled around. I think it was around 6 o'clock. We had just did some rattling, and we had this spike. We were right on the edge of a cornfield, and the acorns had dropped, and so this guy had come in from the side of the corn and crossed over underneath the acorn tree and hung out there for a while before Nate was able to actually get a shot off. So I was trying to tell Nate to shoot. He couldn't hear me, and because I was trying to get it on camera, and then he was about to shoot. I told him, hang on, I'm not on him yet.
This is how you want a deer to come in, especially like a big mature buck. He just kind of came in, and then he gave that second opportunity.
Right. He fed around the tree for a little bit and then started to walk away. And as he stepped out, he was about 30, 40 yards away from us. I went ahead and I think I grunted and did a tiny little bit of tickling on the rattle bag. And he came back 10-yard shot, broadside. Slightly
Here it
quartering.
comes.
Yeah, it's quartering. And that's why I had lighted knots.
That's good. Right
You
there.
can see it. He ran down that tree edge, ran 100 yards and crashed.
Nate's reaction. It's
It
awesome.
was fun.
Making things happen with Light at Knox. So that was the highlight of season number 2, probably.
Yeah.
Season 3 was a rough season. I think it was our second season having like the Ernest family, Ernest guys on our team, and that wasn't the rough part. The rough part was I don't know, it just seemed like not a whole lot came together, I don't think, for season 3, other than the fact I think I featured some.
I shot my buck.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, I remember now. I was just remembering we had
What are you talking about?
that season we featured several other teams' footage or whatever,
Mhm.
and it seemed like it just took a while for us to get something. Joseph got his deer, and
Late
then you
season,
got
late.
late season,
Late December,
and then you got yours
October.
October. Yeah, I was in Ohio at the Pittman's Church, I think, in their parking lot, and you called me like, I got a buck, and so yeah, let's go and check that highlight out real quick.
October 16th, I think is the date.
Oh yeah, we called this the October buck. Yeah, I remember.
That's the first deer that I got self-filming. And, yeah, first year hunting with the NAP kill zones.
Yeah.
So, which those
That,
are...
that was prior to the Rick Broadhead
Yeah,
days.
prior to
So
find out about Rick. So, I was hunting the same stand as I shot my first doe on. One we called Ebenezer stand.
the same one that you shot Goliath
Mm-hmm.
at. Okay, here it is. Kill shot. Boom. Once again, Light and Lock strikes again.
I shot him a little bit further back than I wanted.
A little high too. Well, maybe the angle was
It was good.
okay.
But he ran 70 yards and crashed. So,
He was done.
like I said, self-filming with that deer.
That's impressive for
worked
self-filming.
out. It worked out.
It is difficult to
Very
self
difficult.
film. So here's the recovery. There he is. You can
Got
see
out
the
there.
rack sticking up. Now is that this deer here
Yes,
or
that's
okay?
that.
He's a pretty decent buck. Look at the body on that thing too. Nice. Nice 8. So that would definitely be the highlight of season 3. I apologize. I forgot that was in season 3. Yeah, season 3 was kind of rough for me. I was on the road with my family and stuff, and just I didn't make it happen that year in that season. But good times.
We've had pretty good content through the seasons.
Right. It's like if one team member doesn't get something, the other one typically
Right.
will. Or, that one year Nate pulled through for us. And then the Ernest guys, I think Daniel, I think he got a doe. Pretty far shot, but still, it was awesome. Good times. Season 4, we had a giant encounter. That was pretty cool. But my pins, I couldn't see out of my pins. But I would say that highlight for that season was that hunt when you're like, let's just separate and hunt separate and self-film ourselves. And I still ended up filming part of
You
your
did.
hunt because the doe comes in. So let's check out that little highlight there. Oh yeah, and we started out with that one buck encounter that you had, where you ended up the following year shooting a buck on Thanksgiving morning.
Oh, that's
Remember?
right. That was.
He was a nice buck. Check this out. November the 6th, he comes in and he's just a stud.
I want to see that buck.
That was a good time. Did you grunt him in? I think you grunted him in. He was out in the field and you grunted him in.
Grunt, snort wheezed.
Well, you snort wheezed. Was it before? I don't remember. There it is. He was with his doe ready to bed down, and he heard that other buck, JP, grunting over in the stand, and he had an attitude. That was a cool one. Oh yeah, up here, right?
So he
Yeah,
came
it was
in and he
low
s-
light too, so it was hard to
getting
get him
low
on
light.
camera, but we did
And
get
then
him
he
on camera.
stopped just like
There
3
he
steps
is, right?
before, and he would have been in the clearing for my shot.
Yeah, that was a crazy thing. He just needed to walk a couple feet farther. Here's that rack. Oh man. That was one of the coolest encounters I've had too. Look at that neck. That he just swings that head around. And then when he started scraping it, everything leading up to this was like he's following the script
Right,
perfectly,
it was
coming
perfect.
in on a string. He's giving us some action, and JP kept coming to full draw. How many times did he come on full draw?
Like
Two,
3
twice? Okay, 3 times.
That's why it's important to have draw weight set where you can hold it back and pull it.
Look at those
back without
tines.
pulling. But he busted.
But then
out
he
of
was
that.
gone.
It was rough. So I had set up a camera facing me, and then I had my GoPro on my bow, and it's like 4:30, so it's pretty early. And they came in, and they were kind of going on both sides of the tree. And when she came around to my side, I had the GoPro going. I drew back, and just as I draw back, the camera dies. And
That
I
was
like, oh
insane.
well, I'm shooting.
Right. Phil the
And I
Bruiser.
thought maybe the screen had shut down while I was filming, but no, the camera.
At least you got the shot from
I
that
did.
side.
So I shot her.
Same thing happened this year though too. If you guys watched last Friday our first episode, you would know what we're talking about.
Right.
Same thing happens with that GoPro. So we're gonna have to figure out something with that.
It was December 4th. And
Good times, man.
that was fun getting that.
So
I mean, she ran 40 yards and piled over.
Bill Hunt.
That we've all been struggling with is getting things on film. I think this year
Yeah,
we've done a lot better.
right. So we get to season 5. Highlight there was we started saddle hunting.
Started public land hunting.
Right, public land hunting. That was a highlight. Another highlight was first ever saddle hunt buck for me. Hadn't gotten a deer for a couple seasons because of just circumstances.
So with this saddle hunting, Josh had never been to this location before. I had gone through there earlier and scouted and set our preset for, because we used the DRT double rope technique to get into the tree. So I had set the preset on this tree, picked the spot. We came in real early, started to climb the tree, or tried to start climbing the tree, and we just had terrible time.
Yeah.
It was the tree was just angled just right where we were not getting the right position that we're needing to climb the tree. Finally got climbed up the tree. It was already daylight. We got set up. The deer didn't show up till almost 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it was 9
And
something or almost
There
10.
was like 5 bucks that
5
came in.
little bucks came in, and they came into the wrong area because at that time I hadn't gotten a deer for a couple seasons, and I was like, I'm ready to put something in the freezer. We're ready to have some venison. Let's do this. And so this little guy was not his lucky day. You kept trying to tell me which deer was
Right.
where or whatever.
I'm trying to
So
say,
the
wait on
camera's
this
moving all
one.
over the place, and we got a little too excited and anxious for this.
Yeah.
This
I was
deer
trying
kill.
to tell him to wait on the one that was in the back there because I thought, that was a bit bigger deer, and he focused on the one deer. And so we're trying to
I
communicate
was
which
dialed
deer
in
we
with
were
one
on.
buck, and that
what we're
was
doing.
it.
So, but
And then one thing I took away from this when I shot, like you just probably saw there, one thing taken away: 1, I should have had a light knock. 2, the camera shaky. 3, no, this probably should be 1. Is I didn't stop the deer. He's just walking,
yeah,
and I
took
think
that
that's
step.
why some of the
Push it
shot
back.
placement was a little bit off. Sure, I'm not the greatest shot, but I'm thinking that probably would have helped if I would have matted or something and had that little guy stop. I just was like, okay, take it, and I just drilled him. Still got the deer, but it just was a long process. It was like, 2 inches off of where I probably needed to be. And so, because far back wise, because of the exit, it was where it needed to be. Just, I think it was too far down. It needed to be a little bit higher of a shot. But good time. That was definitely a big highlight for me with that season.
So when that deer ran off with that deer, I'd seen good blood as he was running off, and we started tracking it about an hour later. We got down, went to first blood, and we went just a little bit following the stuff. We went about 80 yards, finding good blood, and we decided to back out because we'd left all of our stuff at the tree base. Went back.
We did
grabbed
a
our
lot of
stuff.
hiking that day.
We went back on the trail, started walking the trail. We went about 150, 200 yards almost, finding good blood, but just no deer, no beds, no nothing. It's not like we bumped them. We didn't see anything. So we decided we got to this field edge. It was real thick with briars. So we backed out, went back to the truck, watched the footage again, got machetes and everything that we needed, put the stuff that we didn't need in the truck, and then we hiked back in. And when we got in, we got through the field. We lost blood as soon as we got into the open field. And it took us 8 hours, I think, to find this deer.
It was crazy. By the time it was all said and done, I think it was 8 hours or maybe 8 hours just to find them, because we kept pulling out a couple times. Which, that's one thing, don't ever be afraid to do. If you're out in a situation like that, like the deer moved or whatever, jumped the string a little bit, you're not confident in your shot, and you've gone like that many yards
Right.
and still haven't found a buck, but it's finding blood and stuff, haven't found a deer down rather. Don't be afraid to back out, wait a couple hours or whatever, and then go back in, because sometimes the deer, you can just keep bumping them,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll end up never finding them.
Yep.
So just,
When in doubt, back out.
right, exactly. And so we did back out, but I really believe the Lord helped us find them, because they got to the point we just started a body search, and we're just walking around trying to find the deer's body, because he got to the point where he didn't really find a lot of blood.
trail.
And then JP's walking in this one area, and all of a sudden he finds some blood or whatever, and then you found the deer.
Yeah.
And so it was just definitely the Lord blessed that season and helped us find that deer. So another big highlight for me, but probably mainly for you for that season, was Thanksgiving morning. It was awesome. I was corresponding with who is now my wife on my phone, sending her an email. And anyways, you can tell the rest of the story.
Yeah.
This buck came in.
That
It was
has
awesome.
nothing to do with this.
I know, right? But it was a good morning, and
That's right.
you know, and
We-
anyways, it
we
was
got
already a
in-
good morning, and then it just
Yeah.
kept getting
We got in real early.
adding to it.
And being Thanksgiving, we weren't going to hunt all day. We were going to stop at a certain time, get back, spend time with our families.
Right.
And so we got in real early, got set up in the stand.
By 10 o'clock, we had the thing field dress, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 o'clock she was loaded.
He was
sorry,
loaded.
he was loaded.
Oh boy.
But we got into the stand, and it was done and over with, that first light. So, it was a great morning for that hunt. Cold
No
temperatures.
doubt.
And it was, I just enjoyed that hunt altogether.
Another reason why you love using light knocks was proved in this hunt here.
Yes.
Let me fast forward.
If we did not have a lighted knock,
because it was literally first light,
Mhm.
2 minutes in of legal shooting light,
right.
and
If I
this
did not
dude
have a lighted
come
knock, it would
stomping
have been
in.
rough.
Even the video quality is a little bit rough because it's just inside the woods, so it's really hard, but you can see that huge body comes in, the rack's a little bit blurred, and then you just drill him with that lighted knock. Here it comes.
It was 18 yards. Cheap shot for that Hoyt.
Oh, look at that.
As soon as he passed the brush.
There goes that awesome shot there because of the light knock, and then as it pans up the frame, you can see the sunrise, and it's just
I shot in that situation. I knew we were real close to the first light. I drew back, stopped him, shot, looked at my watch, and it was a minute past legal shooting light. And we just sat there for a second. He ran into the thicket, 50 yards, and we heard him top over.
The other crazy thing is here in the footage, I don't know if people noticed watching this episode, but you're holding this long pole. I don't know if any of our viewers were like, why is he holding this huge stick after he just shot a buck? Is he ready to just go club? No. Anyways, but what happened was we were actually not super observant right off the bat because it's somewhat early and we're trying to clear out some shooting lanes. Another thing we learned, you need to clear out shooting lanes prior to your hunt. So I've got this Huey man saw that you found real cheap that you got for me, and you're over there trying to cut some limbs, and then we hear deer movement, and so it's already fully extended, this saw, and so you hand it to me, and so I switched screens from my phone from emailing to video camera, and now I'm filming and holding this huge saw stick out of the stand. You drill them, you take the saw back, so it's just kind
It
of
was fun.
it was a fun, crazy hunt. That was a huge highlight for me, and then my
Hearing
saddle
that top
hunt was
over
a huge.
was the best. It took me a second to find the blood. About 12 yards.
Oh yeah,
or so.
the startup, because you found blood, but you didn't know where the start was.
Right.
Or
So, but he
or
ran right
gotcha.
into that thicket, topped over. So
decent buck.
He tasted
Good
good. I know
times.
that.
That was awesome.
So
Field dress, drug out to the field, and we're ready to do the interview. It's 10 o'clock. That was a good November hunt.
was.
Good times. So yeah, past 5 seasons have been awesome. The Lord's really blessed.
And already
And
this
it's
year.
just, here we are, season 6 is upon us. It's hard to believe. Lots happened in the past. A lot of deer, not enough deer, but no.
Yeah.
We filled the freezer at different times, and the Lord's been blessing, and we're excited about season 6. Here we are in the thick of it right now. You've already harvested 1 deer.
Mhm.
If you guys haven't checked out that episode yet, go ahead and watch it. That played last Friday, and Seth put down a deer, and his wife's put down 1. His friend in Missouri put down 1. Some of that footage is on last week's episode, and we're ready to get into this season. And we figured, hey, 100th upload video. Why not go ahead and just kind of look back at the memories and see what he's done for
Was
us and
great.
how he's blessed, and
Been
good
great.
memories, good times.
Hopefully
What's
maybe
your
more to
thought?
come.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
ready. And hopefully by the time this video airs, if I've got another buck on the ground, maybe another doe.
So, you never know.
So,
So-
yeah.
Hopefully next Friday we'll have another hunting episode and maybe another deer harvest on film for you. So
One thing I want to take away from tonight is I'm taking that one, you're taking that one.
Got out of the-
If you film your own hunts, and you don't take time to go back and watch them, and if you think that you can't, if there's nothing to learn from any hunt that you do, you really need to step back and take a look. Because every hunt that we have, every year, it doesn't matter if we kill a giant or nothing. There's always something to learn.
Yeah.
Always something we could have done differently. Always something we could have changed. And just to be better sportsmen.
It's been a good time. Thank you guys for being a part of our adventures and our seasons, and it's been good. It's been fun.
It has.
Enjoyed it.
We're ready for
So-
more.
Let's do it.